anything just yet.
There you go.
Well, you're sure about something, aren't you?
About him.
I meant about
That's
something
good.
else.
I am. So Jeremy and I yesterday sold this house and we will be moving, and it's a familiar place to a lot of people. It is over there on East Hendricks County Road at Plowshare Farms.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Congratulations.
wonderful.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the uninitiate, is that someplace I should know?
We purchased the house from Brent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Stop denuding it of furniture. They need it.
They got some. And Jeremy Kristen spent the day reading in the living room, part of it, and Jeremy spent the morning and some of the early afternoon crawling under my MG and repairing the master cylinder for me.
Oh my goodness.
And the
That's
car
wonderful.
actually stops now. And he's a great guy. He's a good mechanic and a very nice man.
I appreciate that, Brent. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, then I show up on Fridays for lunch.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Well, that's a good
You know,
joy
dog new tricks.
good joy to start with. Are there other joys and concerns to share?
Yeah.
I just want to bring up the joy of watching those two smile is amazing.
So excited for you guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, wish you really well.
A joy is if even though I'm not Catholic, I watch part of the services for the Pope, and it's a remarkable. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people still have a deep religious impulse, and which they were expressing through their Catholic faith, and it shows that religion is not dead.
I have a joy. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I went to dinner with my daughter and our two youngest kids last night. And Larry's not here today because he's camping with the oldest grandchild. So we celebrated my daughter's birthday, just us girls, last night. But when I left them around 7, she was headed home. And I guess I had my phone on mute. She tried to call me like 10 times. She could not get out of the parking lot of the restaurant. Her car just went dead. It cranked, and then when she went to pull out onto a 4-lane highway, it just went dead on her. So I turned around, came back. Her husband works night shift. He's a ICU nurse at a hospital here. So anyway, long story short, it has something to do with, we don't really know what it has to do with. It's in warranty. I'm thankful that she wasn't on the highway already. She was still in the pull-out lane of the restaurant. So a couple of men pushed it off the road, and I kept the two girls with me while it took 2 hours for a roadside service to come pick up the car.
Oh,
So I'm joyful for that it wasn't on the highway.
yeah. Last Sunday, Dick had to go to the hospital with an elevated heart rate, and we're still trying to sort out what next steps are. You know, it's clear he has some kind of AFib, I guess, and but he had a very bad experience with thinners, that hematoma that had him in the hospital for a month and a half, you know, with one thing and another. And you know, the risk of blood thinners it can't be minimized for people. Also, he had a bad fall recently, and that could have been a lot worse if he'd been on blood thinners. So, you know, it's a scary time for me, you know.
Yeah.
It's not easy for him to hold about these things.
Mm.
Yeah. So all your prayers would be really helpful.
Well, there's much to celebrate, and there's much to be concerned about. We'll want to hold those things in God's light and love and in our own hearts to support each other. It's one of the things I love about this community is that we do, as far ranging as we are across the country. And community is a wonderful thing, especially when it's uniting in faith. So let's hold them. And we had some little musical issues this morning. So we'll get those sorted out for the future. But we'll just go into some silent worship. And Chip is our worship leader. He will speak out of the silence as he feels led.
Good morning, friends. When you are in trouble or worried about something, the Bible says, Deuteronomy 31:6, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. My message today is addressed to God. What movie am I in? Now, I have done messages like everything I know about the Bible I've learned from the movies and movies that God sent me. But as for right now, I have no idea what movie I'm in. Oh, I know I'm in a movie because that is where I have always gone since about the age of 9. I would see a movie on TV or at the drive-in, and to escape the reality of my world, and I would become one of the actors in the movie. I know it drove my parents crazy. Now, I never thought of myself as a star. I just was one of the extras in the movie and just being along with what was happening. I was happy in my make-believe world, especially after I'd seen a musical. But now I see what is happening in the real world, and I'm not sure what movie this is. I'd like to start off with a little song from the Broadway show Music Man. Steve was like, Jonathan opened a can of worms when he could do Broadway shows. Trouble, 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 trouble. Oh, we got trouble. We got lots and lots of trouble right here in River City with a capital T. Oh, we got trouble, lots and lots of trouble. Remember the MAME, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule. Short but sweet. I remember when COVID was in China and we were assured that the virus would never get to the United States of America. And I said, I have seen this movie and it doesn't end well. I'm going to talk about several movies I have seen that I know how they end. Their circumstances are similar to what we're going through today. If you are interested in seeing any of them, prints that he would put information on about them when he posted this message. I would like to start with the movie Marie Antoinette. She was the last queen of France before the French Revolution. She was the wife of King Louis XVI. The French Revolution was a period of major social and political unrest in France. The major problem in France was the big gap between the ultra-rich and the poor. The rich wanted to be richer and cared nothing of the poor and their many problems. Most of us do not understand how well off the rich have it. I didn't until someone put me in perspective. Say one day you reach into your pocket or your purse that you haven't carried for a while, and you find a $20 bill. Well, that would really excite you. Well, it would me. But now, if one of these rich guys, you know who they are, would do that, do you know what they would find in their pocket or their purse? They would pull out $32 million. They do not understand anything about the poor or middle class. They don't understand that some people here and around the world wouldn't eat if it wasn't for food banks and the kindness of others. Well, at the end of the movie, the French people say something like, "We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore." Or that could be from another movie, I'm not sure. Anyway, they rounded up all the rich folks and they chopped off their heads. Now, maybe that was not the right way to deal with the problem. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous die, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. My next movie is Dr. Zhivago. It takes place before, during, and after the Russian Revolution, which overthrew the imperial government and the Tsar Nicholas II. Now, the Tsar was trying to run things, but he had no idea what he was doing. Under Nicholas, there was increased governmental corruption. His policies were questionable, and they divided the people. Russia had lost in World War I, and it caused widespread hardship on everyone. In February 1917, riots over food scarcity broke out in St. Petersburg. There was a revolution, and the army joined the rebels, and Nicholas and his family were shot. The best way to deal with the problem. Proverbs 28:3. The ruler who opposes the poor is like driving rain that leaves no crops. Now, the first two movies were based on factual history events. What could happen? Moving on to the book, 1984. There are two movies. They made two movies, and I have never seen either one of them. And I have never read the book by George Orwell. All I really know about them is the term Big Brother. In other words, the government is always listening or watching. Have you noticed a lot of people cover their camera that we use for Zoom? They worry they are being watched. Have you ever noticed that if you're talking to someone about a medical problem you are having, and then on your computer, that will solve that problem? Is that Big Brother? Can Big Brother hear you now? Ecclesiastes 10:20. Even in your thoughts, do not curse the king, nor in your bedroom curse the rich. For a bird of the air will carry your voice, and some winged creature tell the matter. The Day After Tomorrow. Now, this movie, the people have chosen to enjoy the day and not worry about destroying the earth. And then suddenly, because no one cared, there's a new ice age. When I was a kid, tornadoes were a really big deal. Now you hear about them all the time, and they're major ones. And what about floods? You keep hearing about floods of the decade or a 100-year flood. The weather seems to have gone really extreme, and seems to be no solutions. What will our grandchildren say about us? Numbers 35:33. You shall not pollute the land in which you live. And for the last movie, which is actually a TV show, The Handmaid's Tale. It's based on a book of the future of the United States of America. Lots of bad things have happened. The Commanders, a radical group called the Sons of Jacob, launch a revolution. The Constitution is suspended. Newspapers are censored. The United States of America is reformed into a military dictatorship known as the Republic of Gilead. And they form a new religion from Old Testament ideas. Women have no rights, no bank accounts, no work permits, no business. They are here to only have babies. Having babies is a really big deal. And if your wife can't have a baby, the commanders get a handmaid that will, whether she wants to or not. Everyone wants to go to Canada, but they have closed the borders and don't want Americans in their country. After reviewing all this with you, I think I'm in a disaster movie that hasn't been made yet. Who knows how it will end? Have faith that God will get us through this. As we go into our quiet time, I would like to close with Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave or forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. May the light of God surround you. May the love of God enfold you. May the power of God protect you. And may the presence of God watch over you. For wherever you are, God is.
It is.
As I was listening to Chip's message, especially the part about climate, etc., care of the earth, I was reminded this week on Tuesday was Earth Day. And 25th annual. And those of you who are on Facebook and happen to follow me know that I posted a picture of the first Earth Day when I was a student at Malone College before moving to Wilmington, where we had a funeral service for the Earth. That was in Canton, Ohio, and that's just down from Cleveland, where the river had caught on fire, Cuyahoga. Our opening hymn was "Burn On, Big River" by Randy Newman. My friend Bill Roman, who intended to be a Lutheran pastor and indeed became one, was often a student preacher at Lutheran churches in the area, and he had his cassock on. And Ken, the fellow, I can't remember his last name, he worked at a funeral home after hours, and they let him borrow a demonstration casket. And so we had it out, and we walked around campus and picked up trash and put it in. We lined the demonstration casket with plastic, but put all that in there and had a symbolic service. Well, this birthday, I was at Wilmington College, my alma mater, for board meetings and the inauguration of our president, the first woman president that the college had. She wanted it held on Earth Day. She's a farmer also, as is her father. I mean, her husband. And so the Earth Day celebration was held, the Ag Day celebration was held, and then they were followed by inauguration. And the reception was catered with all local foods, locally sourced foods. And she spoke of her dedication to earth stewardship. Later in board meetings, we were talking about the craziness of the situations affecting higher education. And one of the things that Corey said was, the thing that guides our college is our Quaker values and our commitment to them. And that can be a real form of radical resistance to the dominant society around us. To stay centered in faith and do what we're called to do, agreeing with what Chip said, that God is leading and our trust is in Him or her, or however you want to phrase God. But we need to be true to those values, and we will stand out as an island in a culture that is often counter to what our values are. And indeed, our enrollment's up and everything because young students are looking for a place to practice peace and justice, loving kindness towards each other, and care of the earth. So it's a small drop in the bucket of this world, but I think it goes back to what are we each called to do? And our small acts add up, acts of hope and acts of faith, and following our faith.
It's interesting that the first Earth Day celebrations in April of 1970, uh, I was the assistant minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church in Buffalo, New York, when we had a big celebration in April of 1970. The Quakers were not the only ones interested in Earth Day. And also, it's interesting that the main founder of Earth Day was Gaylord Nelson, who was a Republican senator from Wisconsin. But it's almost never mentioned now because there's so much political polarization on in our society.
Friends, we know some folks need to leave us at this time for other obligations, and so we will bid them Godspeed for the week ahead and blessings. And those who can stay, we will continue for more unprogrammed worship.
Thank you, Chip.
Thank you, Chip.
I noticed one of the hymns that Chip had picked out that I didn't get to play today was Let There Be Peace on Earth. And it made me think of the Oklahoma City bombing. The anniversary of that was on the 19th of April. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever visited the memorial to that, but it's very moving and touching as you go through all the memorial, and you go up four floors, and by the time you get to the fourth floor, you start hearing these angelic voices. It's all children's voices singing "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and that song's just always meant so much to me ever since I heard that and actually felt, surrounded by all those children that died. And the fact that they're gone, they're in heaven. It felt heavenly. It felt like a heavenly moment. But I've always been a big person about peace my whole life, but it just doesn't seem like we ever can achieve it. But we do have hope.
So it always amazes me when things overlap and interlap and have this like incredible synchronicity. Yesterday, I received an email confirming that I had submitted a proposal for a fiber installation on the campus of UConn. UConn has many campuses throughout Connecticut, and this particular campus is right on Long Island Sound. So there's a large lawn and a gallery, and it sits right at the shore of Long Island Sound. So I proposed a project called Joyful Goals. And I'm just going to read really quickly because I'm really bad at public speaking. So anyways, Joyful Goals appropriates a soccer goalpost, replacing the standard white netting with a fiber collage of multicolored diaphanous panels made from repurposed synthetic clothing. Using colorful floral motifs and patterns mimicking the hues and shapes found along the seashore, the fiber walls of the installation become an immersive organic abstraction of petals, leaves, and waves, interspersed with starlit nights and brilliant blue sunny days. The imagery is suggestive of nature rather than representative of it. I'm using synthetic clothing made from sheer polyester fabrics sourced from thrift centers. I'm dismantling and reassembling these garments into these diaphanous fabric panels. And I'm doing this because there's a huge amount of plastic in society, and fast fashion has a huge footprint, both a carbon footprint on the production of fast fashion, but also when it's dispersed and thrown away, it's basically not recyclable. So I wanted to bring that into consideration. So my final statement was Joyful Goals presents a new way to coexist in society. The soccer goalpost, traditionally associated with aggressive plays of a win-lose mentality, is transformed into a space for collaboration and communal gatherings. This reimagined soccer goalpost becomes a safe harbor for people to gather peacefully. What I wanted to do was to address both problems of environment and to reclaim our relationships with one another and to the land. So I was a little hesitant once I found out they accepted the proposal. I was joyful and then freaked out because it's a big project. But it's nice to get another wave of embrace saying it's a good thing to go with. So this meeting was lovely to move the momentum of this project when fear can sometimes set in. So thank you. Sorry for reading.
Thank you for that. That was very joyful. It made me smile.
Chip, I'd like to tell you that I think the name of the movie that you're living through right now, that we're all living through right now, is There's Light at the End of the Tunnel. As people of faith, we believe that God is with us each day and through everything that we're going through, but also God is the light that we're moving toward and the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you for your words this morning.
Thank you.
Well, as we come to the close of worship, meeting for worship, and hearing the good news from Antoinette and Catherine of joy and life, I was reminded of George Fox's epistle to friends in prison in 1663, in prison merely because they were Quakers. And he says, "Sing and rejoice, ye children of the day and of the light, for the Lord is at work in this thick night of darkness that may be felt. But truth doth flourish as the rose, and lilies do grow among the thorns, and the plants atop the hills, and upon them the lambs do skip and play. For the seed Christ is over all and doth reign." And with that, we can close worship for the day. Meeting for worship. Worship will continue, of course.
Catherine, how's your health been this week?
You're mute. Yeah.
Sorry. Echocardiogram this Monday at 10 a.m. So
Very good.
hoping that's working.
Well, I am joining you. I have one at 10 a.m. on Monday also.
You're kidding.
Yes.
I hope we both pass.
Well,
Yeah.
I had one 2 weeks ago,
Oh, wow.
but I had a great report. My ejection fraction is back up to 50, so I'm very happy with that. Still a little bit of fluid that seems to stay there all the time, but it's minor, I think. I feel great.
good.
Yes.
Good to see everybody.
Well, as Tiny Tim once said, God bless us, everyone.
Thank you, Chip.
Good
Y'all have
night.
a y'all have a good week. Enjoyed it. Bless you guys.
See you soon, Chip.
Yes.